a few words before I invite others to come up and say some thoughts. So for a lot of you who might not have been aware of this, Lou was on the visiting team that came to Shoreline. So I got to meet Lou at that time. But what I didn't know about Lou leading up to that point in time is, in many ways, we've had these parallel paths in just different phases of the higher education experience. So he was familiar with the great work that was happening at Evergreen. And then he, I'm sure you played critical pieces in that. He also was familiar with all the service learning stuff that was happening as well, because they were also a forerunner for that too. So the learning communities, the service learning, and I just had the pleasure of being a student there and having those experiences. Well, Lou was doing the work around this stuff, and I didn't know that. And so it was great to finally connect with someone who is really a leader, a pioneer in higher education. We've been fortunate to have a pioneer of higher education working for Pima. And I know it's been challenging times, but through it all, Lou has maintained that higher principle, staying focused on the students and the learning and so forth. And for that, Lou, we owe you a lot for that. And I know you've coached and mentored a lot of people in this room because you bring a depth of knowledge that you could add us all up and it wouldn't equal what you know. Because you've just been at the forefront of community colleges. And because our world is I think we're past the nascent phase now, but compared to universities, we're still maybe an adolescent in many ways. And Lou's been part of that growth and development. So Lou, I just want to say thank you for being here at Pima and being able to share your knowledge, your wisdom for us, and thank you for being part of helping to bring me here.
It all counts.
But I want to present you with something, Lou,
Sure.
before I turn it open to other folks. And then after that, we'll give you a chance to say a few words. Gabi, here we go. So Lou, I just want to, again, thank you for your years of service to Pima and present you with the Chancellor's Administrative Service Award.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. You get that?
So anybody want to come up and say a few words about your experiences with Lou? And come on.
Hi, I'm Geneva Escobedo. I've been Lou's executive assistant for the past 5 years, and it's been a total blast. I have learned so much from him. We've done so many community projects at West Campus and brought in a lot of partners, and he's just kind of like let me loose to do these projects, and we've built a lot of wonderful relationships that are ongoing today. He's a wonderful mentor. He supports your growth and development. I don't think he ever said no to a leadership conference or a professional development opportunity. He wanted me to learn as much as possible, and that's how he was with everyone on the team. So I'm gonna miss you.
Thank you so much.
I would like to say something.
In 2000, I think 3 or 4, I got a call when I was Spanish faculty saying that I was going to take 4 campus presidents to Mexico, to Itzon, to try and see if we could put together an MOU. It was a little intimidating as faculty to be asked to do that. But on that trip was the first time I got to meet Lou. And I listened to him, I listened to his passion for service learning, which was what Itzon is really all about. And I just thought to myself, this is somebody I would be so happy to work with. And over the last years, it's been true. And we are just here. And you come by and see
Well,
JoJo's house.
We do see each other probably as frequently in the Safeway.
And Walgreens,
yeah.
Thanks, Pat.
But we are.
Thank you, Pat.
I've got to run because I've got seat asses are waiting for me to come back. But Lou, I just want to say thanks for the 10 years that I've worked with you. It's been great. Yeah, with some challenges, but we hung in there, and thanks for everything you did for me at the time.
Welcome. And to speak about voices from the past, so after, when you were signing on for your other job, one of my dear friends during my Washington years was his dissertation advisor. So they said, well, why don't you give Jack Schuster a call? And what I learned from Jack in that phone call, is that you guys are really lucky to have the best graduate student that I've ever had the privilege of teaching. So glad you're here. Those words.
All right. Thanks, Lou. Sorry to run.
Well, Lou got to West just after I left West to come to district office. But it's just been a pleasure working with him, and just echoing what Geneva said, the wisdom and knowledge and the patience that this man has had. Because you've had some tough times over the years, but weathered them all and done it most graciously. And I just always appreciate the conversations and the times that we've had a chance to talk. You will be missed.
Thank you so much.
I guess I'm gonna have to say something too, because I'm the newest addition to West Campus under Lou, and he is a great internationalist, as I am, and you're a teacher, a good friend, and I'm just sorry to see you go.
Likewise. However, I will say this, the reason I'm limping around is that we got back from our trip to China in late March, 31 hours of 5 different flights. I almost couldn't get to my car, and that was a Saturday night. I called the orthopedist that following Monday. It was because Ricardo was pushing me so hard. I think that's going to pay off. So,
I was
thank
running
you.
behind him, actually.
Well, now you can beat me today, at least. Thank you so much for that comment. And I think what we're trying to do at Pima in the international arena, your leadership now, and I hope for many years to come, whoever's leading, is not only important for the college for all the financial reasons, quite frankly, the article you guys were sending around yesterday about what's going on in Iowa, if you do it the right way, you change the culture of the institution. You change the culture of the community. So as we begin to see more diversity, more students from other parts of the world, Daisy taking part of that responsibility, this is going to be a transformed community, and I think Pima will be in the middle of it. Quite frankly, even though there are thousands of those students at the U of A, the impact on the community will be stronger coming from its community college. So if you ever need me, you know where to find me.
One of the things I think when I see leaders like all of you here is what do I learn from this person that can help me grow, and Lou has always been a source of that kind of knowledge, and when you hear that true leaders are always concerned about creating not followers but leaders, I can say that of Lou, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have to say something. So next month, it'll be 8 years for me at Pima, and 6 of those years have been with Lou. And I really owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Lou for saving me from a really bad experience at the Northwest campus in my final days there. And Lou gave me the opportunity to serve in a new role where I got to do what I was passionate about. I got to do student engagement and diversity. And similar to Geneva, I feel like Lou always empowered me, and whenever I had an idea, and for those of you who know me, I have ideas all the time, that he always allowed me to explore them. And for that, I will always be grateful. And I just feel very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to work with you, Lou, and you've been a mentor, a guide, someone that we share similar interests and passions, and I'm just really grateful for you. And my experience here at Pima wouldn't have been the same without you, and I just really value that you've allowed me to grow as a person and as a professional and as a colleague, and my experience here won't be the same without you, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
like to say something. I came a little late to the party, so. But Lou, I mean, I started almost 5 years ago at with the Adelante program. So in fact, we're having a meeting next month about the Adelante program, some of the results. But what I enjoyed about you, I remember the first time where you called me into your office just to chat. You just said, I want to pick your brains about this, and that. And it was surprising because to me you were the president of the campus, and I felt like I was this little person who barely was into higher education because I come from the private sector, and I always appreciated that. And you regularly did that enough where you always wanted to check in, you always wanted to pick my brain about something, and of course the shared interest that we had was our travels. So I always enjoyed when you would show me your pictures of your travels of where you went, and you'd ask about my travels where I went. But as Daisy said, I think I'm really going to miss just having that genuine, passionate person who actually cares about people. So you're going to be great with this.
Appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I should add that the Adelante program, I hope something comes of this work, was part of a national set of projects, 8 or 9 of them around the country, looking at a different way of thinking about financial aid. That still might happen one of these days, but the idea was to incentivize financial aid by having people perform and then get paid money. And at least from the experiment we did here, it worked. It was a significant, in our case it was Hispanic men, in different parts of the country it was different populations. And so part of it was I like talking to Frank anyhow, but it was also a really important project, and Pima was privileged to be part of that project.
Yeah, a lot of the elements are what we're planning now. So personalized advising, mandatory orientation, so very high touch. So absolutely.
I just want to say something real quick. So, Lou, I'm like really new to the Pima family, and I'm really honored to be here. But even before that, when I was working as a counselor at Catalina High School, one of Lou's last projects that was so near and dear to his heart was the immigration project that he did at the West Campus. And he reached out to Catalina High School because he knew we had a huge population of immigrants and refugees at that school, and asked us to participate. So I know how much he cares about not just about Pima, but about our entire community. And for that, I'm very grateful to you. And he's assured me that he's following my footsteps. This is not retirement. This is just moving on to the next adventure. So
It's been a great coach for you, though, in the process.
So I met Lou when I was a student life coordinator over at Desert Vista, and I was in the PhD program at the U of A. And one of my assignments was to interview administrators in higher education. And so really what I wanted to focus on is, once you get to this level, do you still know students? Right? Are you in touch with students and what they were doing? And to be able to talk to Lou and to sort of get his perspective, and it really informed me on service learning, right? And so I could go back and actually use that from a practical standpoint. But then when I was looking at locations to do my dissertation research on, I might have been at a certain campus that I can't reveal because I signed off on something that said I wouldn't reveal that. But some campus president who might be retiring actually allowed me to do maybe some research someplace that I can't reveal. And so I'm thankful because Lou has always been there to be able to help guide me in my career and be where I am.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
I remember those days very well. Great dissertation, too.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you so much, Lou.
I was the lucky one that got to recruit this gem. And so I want to thank you for making me look good.
So I need to tell the story. Some of you have heard it, but Ann and my wife I was working in San Jose, she was working in Maricopa, so we were commuting, some of you in this room know what that's about, between San Jose and Phoenix. And so we drove down here because I was an applicant, and just looked around, and we wound up at the mission, Son Javier Mission. And luckily, my cell phone was on vibrate. It was a Sunday morning. We were just looking at the folk mass. It vibrated, and the person on the other end of the phone was Lee Nichols, who said, "Would you be willing to come down here for an interview?" That goes back to February of 2003.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
For those of you who don't know, I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, I'm Libby Howell. I'm new to the college. I came in May, but I've been active in the community for a long time, and so I knew Lou from the outside looking in. And I have to tell you, it is rare that an organization has such an articulate, enthusiastic, positive cheerleader to represent that organization. He could answer any question. He found a positive way to present the college's point of view on any issue. I particularly appreciate his commitment to the arts. We know each other through some arts-related stuff. So he just was a real gem. And that really showed itself most recently when the Chancellor's executive team had a media training. And part of that included sitting down in front of a camera and being forced to go through an interview on really hard topics. And, you know, we all went through it and we all went, wow, that's really hard and scary. And then Lou had his turn, and when he finished, everybody went, the pro has spoken. It's hopeless for the rest of us. So anyway, you've just contributed so much to the community. I hope you continue to do
I will
that.
be living here and continuing to contribute to the community and possible to the college in other ways besides being an employee.
Great.
So thank you so much. Great to see you.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to say thank you for everything, for letting me take 2 leaves of absence, not 1, but 2 leaves of absence over a 6-year period. So that was really nice for the fall.
But it wasn't that hard to do because the leave of absence at Johns Hopkins was in my hometown, Baltimore.
And I live right across from Towson.
You did. That's where my daughter was a graduate. And, so, you're right. You live very close.
I really appreciate
Thank
that
you.
because he really supported me.
Any more folks? So, Lou, we'll turn it over to you.
So, as you can see, I brought nothing here in writing because I didn't have any idea what I was going to say, but let me just say a few things. Some of you recall when my announcement was made in May, I planned to retire, and some people came to me and said, that's got to be a typo. This is my 51st, I'm entering my 52nd consecutive year on the payroll of a college or university or higher ed organization. And it's been a great run for all of those. But this morning, as I was thinking about this thing, I've actually been in college since 1959. I graduated high school at the age of 16. And I went to the University of Maryland. That was not a successful experience. Girls were 2 years older, and so I flunked out. But fortunately, my uncle was then mayor of Baltimore and very connected to Loyola College of Maryland, and the Jesuits let me in despite the fact that I was not a stellar student at the time.
Like I stayed away from the nuns. That was
Well, that's another story. You know, later on, I became vice president of Villa Julie College, now Stevenson University, which is a Catholic women's college. So, I said, stay away from the nuns. Later on, I actually employed a bunch of them. But having said that, let me just kind of reflect on those 51 years, plus those years in undergraduate college. I've done a lot of great things, and you've heard about some of them with things that have been universities, possibility of some funding coming down the road that will actually cause us to work even more closely together. And I could tell you about all the things I've done in various places. One little thing about 1959, I got my doctoral degree in 1982, so I was already a dean of instruction. I'd already been a vice president of this Catholic women's college, but I got my degree in 1982. And that was the old bullpen registration at the University of Maryland, College Park. So I went in the spring semester registration for my final semester to fill out my graduation application. Got to the final checking station. There was this young girl there, probably an undergraduate student worker. And she said, sir, and I wrote, date first matriculated, 9/59. And my degree was awarded in May of 1982. She said, did you mean 1979? Is that a mistake? I said, no, I'm a very slow learner. So to come back to the present, I've done a lot of things. I made a very conscious decision after meeting Ann, my wife, to return to the community college sector, first in San Jose in 1998, and then here in 2003. And I consider it a privilege to let this profession of mine that I've always thought of as a high calling end its full-time run at Pima Community College. This place is very special. It is because of the size of this community, because we're really the only other game in town besides the University of Arizona. I know others think they have parts of the game, but small parts. We can make a difference here in ways that community colleges in similar communities at UTEP and the El Paso Community College District, the one in Pueblo, Colorado, and their school districts, that you can't make when you're in Boston, when you're part of a whole complex of institutions. So I see only bright things ahead for Pima College. I'm really pleased that the last thing I did full-time in this profession was at Pima College. And I thank all of you for your support and for your generosity over the years, because this is a great team. I'm talking about college-wide. And the power that we have collectively is why I'm confident that when the state visit takes place a year from now, and that not only will we be off of this notice and all the other things, we will be the college that Lee's been talking about, an exemplary community college. We're already close. So thank you all for letting me work here for 12 and a half years. For those of you who don't know, I had my right knee replaced 3 weeks ago. That's why this is not a problem.
So please enjoy the food and the conversation, and thanks again for coming out. Thank you.
This is just for me.